afternoon, folks. Today, we are continuing our Unearthing the Collection video series. We will be going through the second part of the closet today, starting with the games that I found for the PSP, old-time PC, and the Nintendo DS. Next week's video will feature all of the PS2 games I found. But without further ado, let's get to some bonus items that I found while searching through these games. Alright, so let's get into one of the first bonus items we found. This is a really cool item here. We have a beautiful deluxe action figure from Alice, the Madness Returns. If you take a look at this thing, it has got such good details, such a beautiful looking figure, complete in package, lovely packaging, as you can see. And if any of you have played this game, you know it's a wonderful game. If you haven't, I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's definitely a memorable experience. But this figure is going for astronomical prices now. The lowest listings I could find were around $150 for a complete and package. I remember picking this up, I want to say it was probably like $20, and I was like maybe on like a deal many years ago, and off it went into the closet. But it's definitely something I'm glad to have, and it's something I'm not really sure if I'm going to open or not. I definitely would like to have her out, because it's such a beautiful piece with a lot of my other nice like anime figures and game figures, but we shall see. But it's definitely something I was glad to find again. Up next, we have another incredible find in that legendary closet. So this is the Casio Rapman personal keyboard. So this item was released in 1991, and it is actually very sought after. It is supposedly very useful as far as actually producing and recording music from such an item that would be considered by most to be like a toy. I was not able to find any listings with the box complete. Unfortunately, I am missing the microphone for it, but otherwise, it is in beautiful shape. I'm going to pull it out here. All right, as you can see, it looks very good physically. All right, it's got the presets where you can select, what kind of tone and style you want the keyboard to play in. It has a little wrapped scratch pad, which you can use to alter the music. And it even has a little like rudimentary drum machine functionality. So this item can take batteries, but it also can take a 7.5 volt DC. So definitely, I do want to find the adapter for it. It is somewhere in the house. I would like to try this out. I played it years and years ago when I picked it up, and I was super excited to get it then, and I'm super excited to rediscover it and possibly make some masterpieces on this. But definitely a cool, highly sought after piece of musical toy history. All right, so next you can see here that we have a pretty big stack of big box PC games that we're going to go over. Now, some of these are pretty common titles, and they're not worth a ton. Some of them have some pretty significant value, and I've already had some people, make some offers on them, and hopefully I'll be able to work out some deals. Because even though they are fun, and a great thing to have in the collection, it's not something I personally collect or am super interested in. But they do have a great history. So a couple of them I did pick up through Savers. I remember going into a store like Savers, and I would find like a stack of these type of games. And it was something so incredible to go through, because these games, if you can remember, if you were around during those times, have such rich history to them. And when you open them up, all of the paperwork that came with them, the maps, the little pamphlets, all like the questionnaire cards, it was such a different experience than when you buy either PC games or console games today. So the first one I'm going to show you is quite valuable. I'll have to look up the exact values. But this one is Wizardry, Knight of Diamonds, the second scenario. All right. Beautiful box. All right. And you can see I picked it up for $2.99, and just a wonderful piece. And when you open her up, so many things inside. You have your discs, and you have all of this wonderful stuff. Player's guide. You have all of these notices and briefing manuals. You have an actual really neat collection book that kind of shows, it appears to show all of the different games that were available in like the Wizardry series. And it kind of goes into detail, and it also has other games that you could get from Surtech Software. So what an incredible piece to find. Definitely has some good value to it, and something I'm really proud to own. The next one we have here is 7 Cities of Gold by EA in the Ozark Softscape series. And this one appears to be an exploration game. And as you can see when you open it up, it has a guide with it. And this game, I haven't really read much about it. I don't know that it's super valuable, but it's definitely a nice little piece to have. And then next up, we have, from Electronic Arts, Starflight 2, Trade Routes of the Cloud Nebula. And this looks pretty neat. As you can see on the back, there's different aliens that you can meet. We'll get that kind of a close-up. You can see some of those crazy little aliens there. It's pretty neat. And then the front does open up, and you can see it has the discs, and it has this paper cutout for use on the map, and then it has the guide, and it also has some much larger cutouts made out of like a cardboard material. So these things are incredibly detailed. I don't have the time to go through exactly what is in these, but it's something that's really a treat to just sit down and look through. The next one is a pretty popular title. Super stoked to have it. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. #1 bestseller. Don't panic. And as you can see, it still has all of the goodies in there. So this one has a Don't Panic pin. It looks like it has like a wristband. The crazy thing is, it appears that this stuff is sealed in here. So the game doesn't have an overwrap, but this is basically brand new. As you can see, like the plastic is still over it. So this is quite a nice piece. I'd be curious to see the value on this. I'm definitely going to have to look into that. But it is definitely a nice piece. And I was wondering, does that one have a price sticker on it still? It does not. But I probably didn't pay more than $2 or $3 for it. So here we have The Hobbit. This box is pretty torn up. I think inside I actually have the cover that was ripped off of it. Yeah, so this cover, which is actually a little book, normally would go on the front of it. But as you can see, this is kind of like, let's see, try to get it here. Woo! Some of these papers kind of stick together. See, it's like a guidebook on how to play through the game. Very neat. And the funny thing is, on this, you can actually see the original price. So this, back in the 80s, whenever it was, released for $34.95. So that's a pretty nice little piece of nostalgia there. And in this one, I'm not really sure about the veracity of this. It may be a little adult, but we have Leather Goddesses of Phobos. And this one's a weird one because it actually has a like comic cover inside, as you can see there. And it comes with quite a lot of stuff. And the comic is in stereoscopic 3D. And as you can see, we have the glasses, we have the game. There's a scratch and sniff card in there. I imagine it maybe smells like leather. But definitely probably a more adult game. I wouldn't suggest it for like young people or children. But definitely quite a neat little find. And this one I don't think I have any price stickers on either. But that is pretty neat. And then we have, not so sure about this one. It's from a little later on. But we have Jane's Combat Simulations, Hunter Killer 6881. Pretty neat looking. This is like a true big box game. So I don't know what kind of value these guys have, but it is pretty neat. It looks like it's like a warship simulation. And like all the other ones, the front does open up and shows you some of the gameplay screens and the control screens. So that is pretty neat. And the last one I have here is a newer game, still pretty old though, from Virgin. I don't know if any of you guys remember this, the Daedalus Encounter. It is a beautiful package though, with the actress on the front there. It's see-through, and the back is beautiful too. Foil, some neat scenes from the game. It looks like it's a game with the full motion video. So this is a pretty cool piece. Again, not sure of the value of this, but definitely something that was cool to find. So those were the big box PC games I found that range from like the early 80s all the way up into the mid 90s. And next we're going to get to the PSP games that we found in that wonderful closet. All right, so we are now on to the PSP games. So many of these were games that I either picked up from GameStop or were games that were in my collection, or were a few of them picked up at like Savers or Goodwill. But these were put in the closet a long time ago, kind of when I packed up a lot of the stuff that was left from when I did reselling on eBay. So the first one we have here is Growlancer, Wayfarer of Time. Okay, beautiful looking game there. All right, I originally paid about $22 for it. If you look at the back, the art is truly wonderful looking. And these all, what I loved is these long books they had for the PSP cases. They just look so wonderful. They're just truly a joy. And this game, I don't know the value, but I imagine it probably has some. Because Growlancer is a pretty popular series. So next up, we have Indiana Jones and the Original Adventures. Okay, Lego, always fun. That one unfortunately does not have the book, but Lego Indiana Jones. Then next we have another wonderful game, which I got for a pretty good price. I'm curious to see what this goes for. It is the remake of Final Fantasy. Okay, so it looks like I paid about $8 for this one. And again, love that art. Look at that, looks wonderful. And this one, of course, is complete. Book is in wonderful condition. Yeah, that one's a delight. That one's actually one I would love to go back and play. It's been quite a while. So those of you that know me pretty well know that I am a huge fan of Dynasty Warriors. And this is a really cool title to own. Dynasty Warriors, the release for PSP. I picked this one up for only $3.99. And I'm not sure of the value on it, but I do love the art here. Look at that. Dao Chan looks amazing. So this is a very cool piece, for me especially. So this one, definitely a sports game, but it is a game that I adored and played on almost every road trip or vacation that I ever went on. And this is Tiger Woods PGA Tour. I adored this game. I played it day in and day out. I still have a little soft spot for golf games when they put out the PGA Tour games because of my experiences that I had with that on the PSP and the GameCube. So up next, a true classic, and it's of course seen a great resurgence of late, and we have the greatest hits version of Crisis Core. So this one was $17.99 pre-owned back in the day. Looking wonderful here. And is this one complete? Yes, and the disc jumped out at me. So, but look at that. Final Fantasy VII, Rediscover the Classic. Little advertisement for that, being available on the PlayStation Network. And if you look, the disc keeps falling out of the holder there. Beautiful art there. Beautiful art. And do have the disc. It just doesn't want to stay in there. But it's really cool, especially when you have like the little inserts and the flyers for these. It makes it such a special little thing to go through. And again, I'm not sure of the value on that, but definitely a game that is extremely wonderful. So here's another one that relates to another great series. So this is Third Birthday. This one can be kind of hard to get a hold of. I'm not sure of the value on it. But this is related to the Parasite Eve franchise. And if you look, the art and the foil on this is beautiful. My good friend Scorpio Caesar has been recently making a video series about games with foil art, and I would love to show him this one. He probably has it. The guy has basically like every game ever made, but this is definitely a cool one. Definitely a fun game. Definitely a different play style than Parasite Eve, but definitely worth checking out. Ooh, next we got a good one. This one is definitely one of my originals that I bought. I see no kind of like price stickers from any secondhand stores. Silent Hill Origins, right? I loved this, and this was one of the rare ones. My wife is a huge Silent Hill fan, and very rarely could I get her to play the PSP, but she played this through on the PSP, and when it came out on the PS2, she was pretty excited about that, but she just couldn't restart. And this was way before there was any way to transfer your progress like there is with modern systems. So she didn't actually end up playing it on the PS2 with me. I believe this one is probably in my PSP. I have two different ones in the closet. So I imagine the disc is not missing, but we'll give an update if we can't find it. But beautiful book. So wonderful times. Another classic that I have very fond memories of on this and the PS2, Me and My Katamari, the Katamari Damacy series. This being the first, portable one was such a huge deal. Being able to roll the little prince around and pick up everybody and have so much fun with it. And what I love about this, still intact, never hung up, an awesome poster with the prince and a whole bunch of stuff from the scenery. And then, of course, beautiful instruction booklet. And collecting for the PSP is a real joy. It's something I got to get back into. I got to kind of start my collection from the stuff that I had in my closet here and start picking up some more stuff because some of these things are so exciting. Another huge one. Love the art on this. It is the original Dissidia. Look at that beautiful art. I adore that. I wasn't huge on the gameplay of this. I remember buying it and being disappointed. I didn't really enjoy it. But the book, the reversible cover, one of the early instances of reversible covers, this is just such a beautiful package. I wasn't huge on the game, but still being able to play as all those different characters is a huge deal and very fun. Ooh, here's one that I loved playing through, and it got me really started on visual novels. Hakuroki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. Look at that. Look at all those beautiful Edo-era bachelors. And look at him on the back. He is absolutely stunning. Be still my beating heart. But yeah, what a great game. And there he is again in all his glory. This is a great piece, especially in a condition like this, for someone that is a huge visual novel collector. But this is where I got my start. And up next we have Need for Speed Most Wanted 510. And this one, I love Need for Speed. I played it with my brother all the time, and this was just a huge deal. And to be able to get it portable was such a huge deal. Love it, love it, love it. Up next, we have, and a lot of people have fond memories of this. Ooh, and this one even has a little registration card. We have Twisted Metal Head On. Twisted Metal franchise was so fun, so fun. And this one, beautiful book, and we got the registration card. Feeling super good about that. Wonderful game. Up next, we have Practical Intelligence Quotient, PQ. I have no idea. I don't think I played this. I think I picked it up at Sabres for $2.99, as you can see here. But it looks pretty cool. Let's see what's got inside. It does have the book. So I doubt this one has any significant value. But hey, it's another title in the collection. All right, what do we have up next? Ooh, this is a nice one. Jeanne d'Arc. The art on this is incredible. And if I remember correctly, the gameplay in this was something really special as well. Now, this one was not in my original collection. I actually picked this up off a fellow collector named Scott that was a good friend of mine. But look at this beautiful art. Look at this. Like, this is such a nice piece to have. Even if you never played it, which I'm sure it's a wonderful game, but the art is just incredible. It's definitely worth picking up just for that. All right, what do we have up next? Ooh, Ratchet and Clank, Size Matters, Greatest Hits. Looks pretty neat. Feels pretty heavy, too. So it looks like we might have some booklets in here. Oh, yeah, big old booklet. Still got the registration card. Look at that. Love these big, look how thick that booklet is. That is awesome. I really miss that about games. And so many of these had this, let me pull these out here, this awesome internal art on the PSP discs. And the art on the inside of the cases was phenomenal. This is just such an incredible thing. If you've never really got into collecting for PSP, holding one of these cases in your hands is really something special. It's really something fun. All right, so these are two really big ones. So we have YS, The Oath and Falgana. So the Eve series is always something that I've enjoyed. The art on this is precious. Look at her. Oh my Lord. And this game, such a beautiful game. Look at that. Look at the art in the background there. Let me take out the booklet here. Jeez, look at that. How awesome that harpy looks. That is incredible. This game, I loved it to death. I played it a ton. And I'm glad that this is something that is still in my collection and I've been able to kind of reclaim it after these years. So this one was another one that I originally bought myself. And again, the art is just incredible. And this is Eve's The Ark of Nepishtim. And if you look at that, just everything about this is completely gorgeous. You can see I bought it new for $29.99 back in the day. Such a beautiful game. Such a beautiful game. I'm sure that those probably have some value to them. All right, so this one is a special one for my buddy Mandy. I know she loves this series. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. This is another pretty rare one with incredible art. Love these games. And let's see how it's looking inside. Unfortunately, no art in the inside, but the instruction booklet is beautiful. And it's super thick, super detailed. It would have been a nice touch to have the art inside, but this is pretty neat for sure. And I'm sure that one has some value to it too. All right, so another huge game that I loved, Major League Baseball 2K6. We're not going to get too huge into that, but I definitely spent beaucoup time on this. But I know not many people are sports games fans, but definitely adored this. How's it look inside? Oh, look at that. Surprise. It's my booklet for Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stones inside this for some reason. Hey, I'll take it. It's good. That makes that more complete. So I think, though this game may not be very valuable, having this manual for my game just increased that value significantly. So that is pretty neat. Guys, don't let me forget that that's in there, because I'm going to end up putting these away and not know. Ooh, look at this. Code Lyoko, Quest for Infinity. I was never a fan of this game. The art style was too weird for me, but a lot of people liked it. And it was one of those rare games where it was from like a show or an anime, and some people said the game was really good. So not really sure about it, but we have it. Next up we have, I don't know how to say this, Trackspad Portable Studio. So they put out a couple different like Beaterator games for like the DS and the PSP that allowed you to make like drum beats and like rap beats. This is one of them. It's pretty neat to have. I would like to mess around with this because I know a lot of these have some pretty cool functionality, and there's people that are much more talented than me that can make some really special stuff on there. So that's pretty neat. Ooh, here's a good one. Tales of the World Radiant Mythology. Look at that. Now, I never personally played this, and this was part of a package deal that I got from my pal Scott a long time ago. But, again, the art is just awesome looking. Definitely something that I keep telling myself I'm going to want to try out. So, definitely worth looking into. And then we have Metal Gear Acid. Another beautiful one. This one I picked up at GameStop for just about $3.50. And as you can see here, beautiful inside. Wow. This actually looks really cool for like a Metal Gear game. Damn. And then the booklet looks beautiful too. So that is pretty neat. Down to just a couple of games here. Speaking of that, Rockstar Games and Dr. Dre present Beaterator. And this one was another one where you could make your own beats and make your own rap songs. Pretty neat. Definitely would like to check that one out. Not sure which one's better, that or trackpad, but pretty neat. This one, Allie would love. This is Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. Some of the most beautiful art I've seen in the series on this game. Just wonderful. Truly wonderful. These games are all a joy. And look at the inside of this. Look at that. Jesus Christ. That looks like a goddamn masterpiece of a reversible cover. Guys, that is so cool. The instruction book looks so cool. I love going through this stuff. Like, I know I sound excited, but Jesus Christ, this stuff's awesome. And here's a big one, still intact. I did open it to check it out years ago, but Persona 2, Innocent Sin. It's got the soundtrack, the limited edition collector's set. This is an amazing game. It doesn't get the recognition it deserves. I think more people should check it out. But this game is truly amazing. And I don't want to pull it all apart because I hate possibly like bending up these boxes. But guys, this one is truly something you shouldn't miss out on. Whether you emulate it, however you got to get it, definitely check it out. Because if you love Persona 3, 4, and 5, definitely much different gameplay style, but definitely great lore, great gameplay, great series. So guys, that is the PSP games. We're going to be doing the DS ones coming up next. All right, folks, so we're going to get right to it. We have a pretty decent sized stack of Nintendo DS games that we have unearthed from the collection closet. And so let's get right to it. And we're starting off with a banger. We have Chrono Trigger. We love Chrono Trigger. Good stuff. Case a little dinged up, but so I could open it. Unfortunately, missing the book, but the card is there. So glad to have it. So the next ones are actually a series of games, all not necessarily related, but by the same publishers, and I think, maybe not, maybe just the same people that worked on them, but they're very similar games. So the first one is a personal favorite of mine, Trace Memory. Great visual novel style, like puzzle game. If I remember correctly, this was about a girl who like lost her parents, and she's looking to find out where they are or what happened to them. And again, beautiful book, beautiful game. Definitely worth playing through. It's not super long, but it's something that I think a lot of people would enjoy. So then next, we have Hotel Dusk, Room 215. Another great puzzle observation visual novel game. One of my personal favorites. And if you check that out, beautiful inside. I think they did recently make, I want to say for the Switch, Return to Hotel Dusk. That was pretty neat. And then the last ones, the Jake Hunter Detective Chronicles. And these were truly incredible. This one's got some icky on it. Great characters, great art. Just a same type of game, you know, like puzzles and visual novel. But as you can see, nice and complete, beautiful. So 3 games along a very similar line, all very fun, all great games to play through. And then we have the legendary Starfy. He is looking legendary. This game is like a cute overload. I think it's one of those games that doesn't have like a huge degree of challenge, but it is definitely something that's pretty fun to play through. And then, as you can see, a lot of instructions and stuff with this one. So we got the instruction book, and then we have, it looks like advertisements for some Nintendo games. And then we have Join Club Nintendo. So that's pretty neat to find those little pamphlets. And of course, there's like the health warnings that come with it. So that's pretty neat. Oh, so this one is one that when it came out, I really hoped it would be something special, and it was not. So, Lunar Dragon Song, you know, anyone that played the Lunar games, this was going to be such a big deal, and it was honestly such a huge letdown. The combat was miserable. The story was miserable. Unfortunately, this one is not complete. I just have the cart. But a real letdown of a game. Still pretty cool to have, but unfortunately, definitely not what everyone expected. So next up, we have Bleach the Third Phantom. And this was a tactical role-playing game. Whereas before, the Bleach games, they put out two different like tournament fighter games. And then they had like the game on the Wii where like you use the nunchuck to swing around your sword. So this was definitely a departure. And I remember it being super fun. I remember playing this on one vacation we took up to Maine, and I really enjoyed it. Nice looking book. So definitely something to check out. Definitely a change of pace. Whether you like just tactical RPGs or you're a big fan of Bleach, might be something you want to check out. So then next up, we have Sims 2. I liked The Sims just like everyone else. Unfortunately, everyone had these games, so I doubt there's very much value. But it is still something pretty neat to have and a little nostalgia. So there's that one. And so this for me was huge because me and my wife played Ragnarok online for years and years. And I put tons of money into it. And I was basically like a market baron in the online community. So when this game came out, a single player game for the DS, I was excited. We got 2 copies. We were literally playing this game. It came out just before my son was born, 13 years ago. So I kind of got to play through like the first half of the game because she was in the hospital. So, but here we go. Beautiful game. If you haven't played Ragnarok Online, wonderful art style, wonderful like character systems. And this was basically the exact same game, just on the DS that you could play by yourself. So that was a huge thing when it came out, and we both loved that very much. And then we have one of my favorite kind of remakes they did, Final Fantasy III. This one was so fun to play through. I adored it. As you can see here, it was such a great experience. And this one is complete. Tons of books. We got the health thing. And there's the nice book. I love the art on the booklet on this one. But beautiful. Beautiful game. Definitely worth a playthrough. And it was good for a good, 40, 50 hours, if I remember correctly. So it was definitely something that you could get lost in, and something very enjoyable. So next up, we have, it's one of those yucky GameStop cases. So it's a Legend of Spyro. We're just going to show the cart here. Yucky old GameStop cases. So I loved Spyro, and I did love Spyro on the DS, but yucky GameStop case. All right, so next, we got one more. Oh, no, it's a great game, too. Ugh. So, unfortunately, Phantom Hourglass in a yucky DS case, the yucky GameStop case. But Phantom Hourglass, classic game, everyone loves it. Spirit Tracks, though, complete. Spirit Tracks is such a fun game. I think it's one of the games that's definitely underrated. I think if more people took the time to play through it, they could really develop some enjoyment of it. And look at these. I love these little advertisements they have in there. If you like The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, check out these games. And, of course, the booklet. So these are always fun. This one is actually somewhere on my desk here. I was just playing that on stream a little while ago. So, and then we have, hopefully this is the last yucky GameStop case, because this is another wonderful one. Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. So, wonderful game. Hours and hours of fun, but yucky GameStop case. So, it's really sad to see that. I probably should get the box for that at some point. Sometimes the boxes are so expensive, it's just cheaper to buy the game again, and then just have like a backup loose one, I guess. So here's one of the Bleach fighting games that I was talking about. This one, another one for Caesar to check out. Look at the beautiful foil on this, Caesar. Look at this. Love this game. I was a huge Bleach person. Me and my wife literally were simulcasting it, the whole series, as it was coming out from Japan. So we were huge into that. And this is just beautiful. Love Bleach. And these games were super good. Super good. On quality, on par quality-wise with any like fighter of the time. So definitely something that's really fun. So this one, if I remember correctly, Lost Magic was, I believe, yes, it was made by Taito. And this one, you actually like wrote out the symbols for your spells to cast them. And it was such a unique use of the DS and the functionality of it. It was such a wonderful way to do it. And I hate it because it seems like when I look at these, all of the like warning books are in front of the game books. But yeah, beautiful game, very fun, definitely worth checking out. It's such an innovative way to control what's going on in the game. And then, of course, everyone had this and everyone loved it. Animal Crossing Wild World. I don't think there's anyone who has not played this, who adored it. I've basically loved every iteration of Animal Crossing from the beginning, and I just adore these. And this one, Nintendo Power, and then we have the cool booklet. I think we actually had 2 copies of this because I have 2 Nintendo Power pamphlets in this. So I think me and my wife may have combined. Maybe she lost hers or something, but that was fun. That was definitely something that we were both playing. So, so here's a couple of big ones. I'm going to leave these ones to the end. I loved this. SimCity DS. I was a huge SimCity fanatic. I loved SimCity. I loved SimCity 2000. And these games were so fun. It was really too bad to see EA drive the series into the ground. But as you can see here, beautiful game. This one was really fun to have on the handheld. And it was before they had completely extinguished the flame of SimCity. But definitely something very enjoyable. And next, another one. Caesar, Bleach Blade of Fate. Beautiful game, once again. So this was, I don't remember if this was the sequel or the one I showed before was the sequel. But they're just incredible fighting games. Love them to death. I remember playing these on all the vacations we would take up to Maine. Because I always brought my DS or my PSP. So a lot of these games got play when I'm like in the hotel room, between going out to the boardwalk or the beach or whatever, and the activities we would do. So so many of these games, I played them in my downtime when we were out on these like family outings. And there's such great memories of that. Look at this. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I know a lot of people don't love this game, but it is definitely an interesting one. I played it a little bit, but anything with Amy Rose in it's always fun. Of course, my girl Amy Rose. Love Amy Rose. But definitely something nice to have in the collection. And for some reason, it has the Chrono Trigger book. Yes! It's got the Dark Brotherhood book, but also the Chrono Trigger book. This is great. Like, you're literally seeing me go through these for the first time in forever. So now my Chrono Trigger is complete. So that should add some value to that. So that is super cool. I'm super excited for that. So I love that. Oh, what is this? This is like, okay. So this one has like a printed cover, but it's an incredible game. Lost in Blue. Such a fun game. I remember playing through this. I think that someone like maybe printed that out. I would love to get the outer box for this. I don't know that this game is super valuable. Maybe I can just pick it up again. But this game was super fun to play through. I remember when they announced it, like it was something that a lot of people wanted to play. So I just loved it. So definitely check that out. Hopefully I can get a better, like complete copy for that, but pretty neat. So this one, again, interactive crime novel. So I think this one was a lot like Jake Hunter and Hotel Dusk. It was an interactive crime novel. You play as like an FBI agent. And you're trying to like figure out your past. So this one was pretty good. Not as good as the others, but there was a ton of these like puzzle, like observation games that were very fun on the DS. So definitely worth checking out. So these ones are extra special. I love all of these. We're going to start off with Flower, Sun, and Rain. This one was super hard to find even back in the day when it first came out. Such a weird, unusual game. And it was another like investigation one. And this one had like a way to like jack into people's minds to see if they were telling the truth or see if they were hiding things from you. This is just such a beautiful game. I don't know if it has a lot of value. I'll definitely look up some values and put them in the video, in post-production. But this game was super hard to find because I remember I was looking for it. Like I saw it in like Game Informer or Game Pro or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get that. And I think I did eventually find it at like a GameStop or like KB, and I was just super happy to get it. So glad to have that one in the collection still. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go with this one first. Oh, what a beautiful book. Luminous Arc 2. All right. This is complete. Looks beautiful. But there is more to it. There is a music CD that came in like a little slipcase that was on the back. It was like, wrapped, and it was on the back here. I do have it. I have to find where it is because that would be a really cool thing to have with this. But these games are incredible. Definitely want to check this one out. Definitely don't remember too much about it. But the art style and everything just looks so beautiful. The art style is very, very reminiscent of Disgaea. So I definitely want to go back and give this a play and find that goddamn CD, because that would make it like a much more complete, like cool thing to have in the collection. And guys, this is one of my most underrated DS games. I'm so glad to have found this again. I actually wasn't sure where it was, because I was actually trying to make a DS video back when I first started YouTube. And I was like, I don't know where this game is. And I'm so glad that I found it. It is Lux Pain. And this game went so far under the radar, I could not believe it. And it is such a awesome observation, puzzle, like who done it, figure out what's going on type of game. And if you look, there is a beautiful art book that came with it. Let me try to get it out of here without messing anything up. Beautiful art book. I love the art in this game. It has like all the different characters. Like these, like games used to come with so much great stuff. Like now to get basic things like this, you have to have like some like $150, $200 like crazy collector's edition. This is just so cool to have, games that were this fun, that had this much stuff. And you see we got the book, we got the game, and it all fits nicely together into the slipcover. I'm not sure what the value is on that, but I would suggest that anyone pick it up if you haven't played it. I don't want to ruin the corners on the book. Well, we'll put it back in there after. So guys, that wraps up the video for today. We found some truly amazing stuff going through this closet. It was a little easier to go through this time because I actually took the time to take everything out of the closet and put them into a bookcase that is not in a closet and inaccessible to me. So going through the PS2 games next week will be much easier. I briefly took a look at them. I'm still going to be very surprised by the conditions on some of them. I'm hoping that a lot of them are complete, but a lot of the PS2 games were from video store liquidations. So a lot of them, though they have cool history to them, they have the stickers and the security devices from, the stores they came from, whether it's Movie Scene or Blockbuster. They are not often complete. Either the covers got cut up to be put into the cases, or they're missing the instruction books, or the instruction books are damaged, but they're wonderful things to have, and they're wonderful things to play. And I'm sure a couple of them are pristine and in great condition, but I'm not really holding out hope for like the best conditions, but I'm super excited to go through them because there's many more. I would say that's probably about 100 games. So that should be a fun one. It's going to be a very long video. And I hope it will deliver some entertainment. But I hope you guys enjoyed going through this portion of that closet, covering the DS, the PSP, and big box PC games. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications. And as always, stay creepy.